Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Alex Drops, and in the new snapshot, Mojang gave us some pretty cool features with the slime blocks. And so what I've done with those is I've built two really cool item elevators I'd like to show you. And so first, let me just show you basically how these work. In this snapshot, they made entities bounce on slime blocks whenever they're extended on a piston. So we just put two blocks there and press this button. You'll see they shoot up. And so when I saw this, I immediately thought of item elevators, and this is what I've done. I have two designs here. This one's pretty much completely vertical. It's 5 by 3, and it is it's really reliable, but not as much as this one. This one is a little bit slower, but it has to weave in and out, so it takes up a lot more room. But it really never fails ever. So I'm going to show you how they both work. Let me just put in 2 blocks in each one. So we got the blocks in there, and let's go ahead and press this button, shoot them upward. And as you can see, there they are. Alright, let's go ahead and try this one over here. Let's put in 2 blocks again. And launch them upwards. As you can see, this one kind of has a water flow to push it to the side. And there are 2 blocks. Alright, so I'm sure you pretty much know how these work already, but I'm going to go ahead and explain it anyway. Now, for the one that's pretty much completely vertical, it's very simple. The slime block down here that pushes the upward, first off, is going to hit a tripwire whenever it gets to about 8 blocks up, and that's going to send out a signal. And we have a little bouncy platform here. So the first thing that's going to happen is this one's going to get extended. Then after a short more while, this bottom one will get extended. It'll bounce the item upward, and then it will retract. And the same thing, once that gets bounced up, it'll hit another tripwire. It'll do the same bouncy thing. It'll retract and hit this one. So it's pretty cool. It's very small compared to most item elevators, and it's very reliable. This one works a little bit differently, but pretty much the same concept. Whenever it comes up here, the water is flowing to the side, so it will actually push the item whenever it goes through it. So it'll get pushed and eventually fall over here. This is ice, so it's going to slide over the ice, hit this wooden pressure plate, and by the time it lands on the sticky piston with the slime block on top, the delay will launch the piston up forward. It'll go through another water stream and do the same thing all the way to the top. So let's go ahead and build these. First, we're going to build the one that is completely vertical, and for all of them you're just going to start off with a sticky piston with a slime block on top. Now we need to count up 8 blocks. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright, and once you get to your 8th block, that will be where you build your tripwire. And I've been using obsidian for everything just because when I'm working with slime blocks, I don't want any blocks to get pulled. You really don't have to use obsidian, use whatever you want. So let's go ahead and get our tripwire out. Okay, so put them right across like this. Connect them with a string, of course. And our first piston is going to go right on top of that. We're going to put a slime block there. And now we just need one to push it outwards. So one more sticky piston right here. Now this is the most important place. You need obsidian is right on top of this, because if you don't have it there, then this tripwire is going to activate this one first, and that'll be a really big problem because this can't push it out. So now we need to hook it up so there's the correct amounts of delays. Go ahead and put a block of obsidian or whatever you want really here. Redstone here. We're going to need some repeaters. Keep 1 on 4 and 1 on 2 ticks. Then we're going to need two 4-tick repeaters here and here. Then they're going to go into a block here. This has to be a block, so it'll activate this whenever this is extended. Then another 2-tick right here, and redstone right there. So essentially the process is this one extends, and then this one up here will shoot up. But this one has to retract before this one does over here, and that's why this extra repeater keeps this one out for 2 ticks longer. And once you do that, you are pretty much done with each pod. Remember, for each one you want to build up 8 blocks, so start counting right here. Count up 8 blocks and then repeat. And it is probably a good idea to surround your whole build with some sort of tunnel or tube. I don't think it's completely necessary, but I think it'll give you a better rate of objects that don't fall down, or that make sure they make it all the way up to the top of the elevator. So let's build a little tunnel like this and you will be fine. Whenever you are building the tunnel over here, this is when you will need obsidian or some kind of immovable block, because if you don't, the piston won't retract because it can't pull obsidian. So put obsidian here, 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 and here, and the rest you can use glass or something like that. Just like this. And so this is a really crappy demonstration really, but just repeat the process, make sure you use the tunnel, and build up as high as you want. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and build the other one. This one is a lot more resource friendly. It only uses 1 sticky piston and 1 slime block per level, which will give you about 10 blocks in each level. And it's pretty much the same thing. You're going to need to build up 9 blocks here. That's in the 9th block. Now we're going to build to the side, and we're going to grab a sign or a ladder or something from the inventory, because we're going to need to block off a water flow. So let's go ahead and place a sign. Make sure this is directly above the slime block so the item can go upwards. And now we need to grab some ice. This will just make sure the item is flowing faster. If you do not have ice, it shouldn't really be a problem, except you'll need to make the delay a lot longer. And also grab a wooden pressure plate. It must be wooden. Whoops, put that right there. We only need 3 ice. Then build out like this. Grab your water bucket. And put your sticky piston right there with your slime block on top so the item can flow right on top of it. Now whenever this extends, it's actually going to drag this ice on top of it, which isn't really a problem, but I'll show you how to fix any potential problems with that in a sec. So now all we gotta do is put the delay in. It's pretty simple right here. Go ahead and put 1 piece of redstone right here. Only 2 repeaters on 4. And finally redstone right there. Now if you find for any weird reason that the item is not making it all the way to the slime block before it's shooting it upwards, just add another repeater here and make it a little bit longer. It can't really hurt, it'll just make the elevator go a little bit slower. And the same thing goes, you should probably surround everything you can with blocks, just so the item can't possibly escape or fall out. Now the final thing we're going to do is, the one possible problem would be an item landing like this, and then another one landing here. And now all of a sudden we have something that's stuck. So we're going to fix that by simply adding a sticky piston right there with a block right here. And so this will get activated every time the pressure plate gets activated. And of course we're going to have a tunnel here, so if an item is already on this pressure plate, it's going to block the rest of the items from coming up. And the worst thing that's going to happen is that item's going to fall back down and get pushed up again later. So it'll prevent any possible faulty actions by having one item there and having another item stuck. So go ahead and finish this off by building a tube right here all along to the bottom. And then again, it counts up 9 blocks before you place your sign. And we're going to place it facing the other way now because we want to weave so it's as straight up as possible. And just repeat the same thing and you will have your own item elevator as high up as you need to go. I think these designs are pretty reliable and they work very nicely. So I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time.